modeling, building out a gun turret. As you can see here, this is kind of the concept and idea that I've built out already. And we're going to be working with a lot of linear geometry and whatnot, given we will have a little bit of kind of spline stuff to work with as well. But yeah, most of it's a pretty much hard surface and pretty self-explanatory when it comes to a lot of these kind of basic shapes and not. But we're going to be working in some Boolean operations, some spline modeling and whatnot. And not only that, but we'll be looking for ways to kind of cheat it so we don't have to use Booleans as well. So with that, let's get started here. I'm going to go ahead and just select a cube. And we're just going to kind of bring this guy down. And we're just kind of going to block our basic idea that we want to go for here. I'm going to set my display to quick shading lines. I kind of want to see what I'm looking at here because we're going to be dealing with some symmetry objects as well. So I'm going to add a segment to my X here. And we're going to actually make our mesh editable here because we want to tweak our polygons here. I'm going to go to my selection tool and just kind of select those and delete them. And I'm going to grab a symmetry object here and we're just going to plop that right into there. So whatever we do on this side is going to be mirrored on that side as well. Okay, and now I'm going to create a loop selection on these edge polys here. So I'm going to hit UL on my keyboard and that should be able to give me a loop selection here. Like so, and I'm going to right click on my mouse and I'm going to go down to smooth shift and we're just going to kind of bring that out just a smidge here. Alright, I'm also now going to go into my edge mode and grab my live selection tool here and I'm just going to grab these edges. And there's so much that we can do with this thing here, but we're just going to get a basic feel of what we want. So yeah, something like that. And as you can see, we're kind of getting, we got some triangles here, so our Phong shading is going to kind of not give us the best results, at least within our editor window here. So I'm going to click on our Phong tag, and I'm going to change that default from 80 to 30. And this is going to kind of make our surface nice and hard and linear. I'm going to go back into our poly mode here. We're just going to just kind of select these ends here. I think I want to give it a little bit more of a diversity in our geometry here. I'm just going to kind of extrude these ends out, just give it a little bit of a lip. Go to our edge mode, live selection, select these bad boys, like so, and just kind of bring that down a little bit. Something like that. And grab these guys here. And just kind of bring them a little bit. Just make it a little different here. Okay, let's go to our top here. I'm going to bring this up just a little bit here. Actually, I'm going to turn my symmetry off and just make sure. One thing we need to avoid and be very cautious of is that we want to make sure that if we're working with symmetry objects, we don't want to have any intersecting polys. So since we did some extrusions there, these are going to exist. There is a way around it, but just double check, turn it off, go in there, make sure we got a clean mesh. Okay, so let's grab our top poly here. I feel pretty okay about the shape, but I think I might want to change this down the road. But we're not going to worry about a lot of detail at this point, so I'm just going to go to our extrude, right click, extrude, and just kind of bring this guy up a bit. And just pull him up there, like so. And pretty good. Once again, our polys are here. Get rid of that guy. Turn it back on. And I'm going to go to our rectangle selection tool here. Maybe just kind of bring it in. I kind of want to have a little bit of that. You can kind of see from the model I did, kind of sloping inwards. I think we want to have kind of a pretty bold base on our turret, just so we know that it's really beefy and kind of strengthy down at the bottom there. So something like that. It still kind of has a rectangular shape to it. But I think we're okay with that for now. All right, now let's go back into our poly mode here. So select our poly at the top here once again, and just kind of playing around with the shape. So I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to select our symmetry object here, and I'm going to hit C. And what we're going to do is basically make this one piece again here, and I'll show you why. I'm actually going to rename this base here. So let's go ahead and select all of our polys here, and now we got both to kind of work with. And the reason is that I kind of want to just, we can either bevel or extrude, but I kind of just want to bring in the edge here, give it a little bit more life, and kind of extrude this in like so. Maybe something like that, and just extrude inwards. And that's just kind of our basic shape on our little turret bad boy here. Okay, so far we're looking pretty good. I'm going to go to our point mode here, and I'm gonna make sure that only select visible elements is turned off, because once again I want to kind of select everything here at the top. I feel it's maybe a little too high. Just kind of bring it down a little bit here. Back to poly mode, make sure that's kind of pushed down. We can always tweak that later as well. I'm going to go into edge mode here. I'm going to grab my live selection as well. And then we're just going to grab these little corners right here. And looking a little too linear for my flavor right now. I think I kind of want to eventually have some curvature on these once we start building it out. So I'm actually going to right click and go to bevel. And just we can use our default settings for now. We're probably going to get some n-gons there, but that'll kind of help our corners right now. And that looks pretty good. So I think we're off to a pretty good start getting our base structure down for our turret. So I think what we'll do is end on this, and then the next lesson we're just going to keep on continuing to build this out and kind of really hone down our shape of everything.